And we are live with breakdown number 2 of the day, more specifically LFA 151, live from somewhere in Brazil, I believe Sao Paulo, Brazil, headlined by the Featherweight Grand Prix Final of Jose Delano and Gabriel Santos. We also have the vacant LFA Strawweight Championship on the line between Julia Polastri and her opponent Brenda Goateek. So newcomer but undefeated there. So we'll be breaking those down along with I believe 5 other fights here on the card. But we're going to go ahead and get started here with the first fight on the main card. Always just do the main card here with the for LFA with the middleweights. Marco Tulio, also known as Marco Tulio Silva, taking on Oliveira. Moisadio with the circus, because this is a circus fight. Oliveira, just go watch his fight with Bruno Ferreira for one, which obviously a lot of people know who Bruno is after this weekend when he beat one of my favorites in RoboCop, Glass Cannon personified. But Mutante versus RoboCop here in Marco Tulio Silva taking on Oliveira. 35-19-1. So just a little bit of experience here for him coming into this fight. Very odd looking fighter for sure. Very, very tall at 6'5". He's fought kind of all over the place in weight class. The Bruno Ferreira fight back in April was at middleweight. But he's very, very long, lengthy middleweight. He's been kind of all over the place. He's faced a decent level of competition throughout his career, but a very regular fighter. He's fighting 6 times every year. I believe he fought 6 times last year. He's getting started this year, coming in off 2 straight wins to pretty low levels of opponents, but getting knockouts in both of those. Definitely a long striker for the most part. When he gets taken down, has trouble off his back, and also is quite hittable. Marco Tulio, 7-1 coming into this fight with a lot of hype for sure. Known for his striking in Muay Thai of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Shuto box Diego Lima. Fought in November, 4 straight wins for him coming in. Only loss coming to Alessandro Silva by KO with SFT. Glacio Franca being his most notable win for me, but Pedro Oliveira with the Road to Future getting the decision there. But the Glacio Franco fight fought through some tough positions, really used his long strikes and ended up putting him away there in the second round pretty impressively. Had a quick first round finish of Carlos Silva as well, facing plus levels of competition here. Oliveira, he's been around, man. He has tall man defense at times. He does back up way too much for my liking. He's only 28 though, with all these fights. A lot of craftiness from him. I could see him, kind of getting Tulio Silva tangled up here. Honestly, I think Tulio Silva is being way overhyped by the odds makers for me. I'm going to leave this one alone. I think Tulio does end up getting the knockout, but minus 510, pretty crazy to me. There's been no line movement there. Plus 370 on Oliveira. This is a carousel fight of a carousel fight. Just sit back and watch it, because Silva doesn't quite have that one knockout power. He kind of puts it on you with a little bit of volume, and Oliveira's kind of tricky, and he's been, very, very experienced, almost 60 fights, and still only 28 years old, 6'5", tough to deal with for guys. So I would just leave that one alone from the odds perspective. But next fight is at flyweight. Very excited for this fight. And this is one of the closer fights on the card. Marciano Ferreira making his return to LFA, had an unsuccessful prelim earlier against Santos, and taking on Matthias Bronze, 8-1 Majanica. I really liked what I've been seeing out of Bronze. I'm not going to lie. Really impressed with the variety of skills he has. 8-1 out of Tata fight team, 28 years old, 5'9". Good size for the flyweight division. Absolutely, just put away Analdo Santos there in the first round of their clash. Really impressed me quite a bit in that spot. But coming into this fight, 2 straight wins, the Hani Henrique fight. Henrique claimed to not tap, but it was a pretty sunken guillotine and a good striking affair before then. A loss to 11-0 Ruslan Saryaev with GFC, not going to hold that against him. Other than that, hasn't faced the best level of competition, but he's putting these guys away. He also has good striking, as he's been showing as well. I think he's, really on the come up, and at 28 years old is in that prime. Marciano Ferreira, another good fighter here at 29, also in his prime, puts on a good pressure, puts on good volume, 5'7", a little bit smaller here. Lucas Miriano, 2 straight wins for him as well coming into this fight, albeit by decision. Thiago Xavier, very good fight, good back and forth. He was, taken down at times, but still able to get back from that. He did lose to Lincoln Santos pretty quickly in that fight. His back was taken. He's lost by rear naked choke in both of his fights, other than the disqualification in his first fight of his career. So he does give up that back at times. He also has the ability for submission, would rather keep it on the feet. I think he's looking to drag this a little bit deeper into waters, use his cardio here. Bronze has been getting it done pretty quickly, so I'll be interested to see what his approach is. I think Bronze should use the grappling, though, and, be prepared for a longer drawn-out fight here. I am going to edge with Bronze here. I just think he's been showing a really good rise in his skills, and I do think he has a good IQ as well. He has good pace. I think this could be a very good fight. Marciano Ferreira, keeps a very good pace. I think it's an absolute live dog if you are to take him, but I do like Bronze in the spot, and I like the price that you can get on him. Open at -185. He's now -180, so a little bit is coming on Ferreira, which I understand, but I like Bronze in this spot. So give me Bronze, and I do think it could be a decision, so maybe the over is a good shot too. I think it's a closely contested fight there. Next fight is a interesting one for sure. Featherweights, Jonas Villarino taking on Kai Machado. Jonas, we'd obviously know from the Contender Series, had that wheel kick knockout of Cannon, and he didn't get a contract, and Dana, I think, knew what he was doing there. A little bit limited in some respects, but a very good striker, very good unorthodox southpaw, has a nice straight left, good kicks as well, and very good takedown defense. Kai Machado is, and does the staring game. Yes, he does. But sometimes he can be really effective and catch his opponents. And one thing Kyle Machado does not do is stare. Lionheart, a good nickname for him, 16-7, 29 years old, just fights in a style that Jonas Villarino does not do well with. Jonas Villarino's losses to Jose Delano, a lot of pressure and volume. Kyle Machado, a lot of pressure and volume, good cardio as well. 2 straight wins coming into this fight. Last one in the LFA against Gabriel Silva, where he just hunted down Silva. Silva was game for this fight. Silva was throwing some really good Muay Thai, had a good game himself, but Kyle Machado just stayed in his face, stayed with the volume, and kept going. And I think that Jonas is going to have a lot of trouble in this spot as well. Before that, the Marcio Barbosa fight, he was knocked out in pretty quickly. He was knocked out in the Jamal Emmers fight. He went to a decision with both Nate Maness and Miles Johns with LFA back in the day. So has a good level of opponent he's faced for sure. And I just think that the blueprint's out on Jonas, and you wear him down, and then that takedown defense that's very good in a lot of his fights kind of disappears as well. Going over to Mr. Villarino, 10-2-1, 32 years old now. Team Nogueira, he's been with Team Nogueira for his whole career. Pedro Lopez, he was able to really crack in that fight. Pedro Lopez was 21 years old coming into the fight, 5-0, and really, really gassed himself out with the grappling. I think Kyle Machado's able to do more of a mix-up of the game and use his cardio more. He's more experienced. I don't think Villarino is going to have that same success here. He has good power for sure, surprising power, really accurate shots, throws the flying knees, which could definitely play a factor here if Kyle Machado does slow down. But I've not seen that Kyle Machado lately. I love Kyle Machado in this spot. I think this matchup is pretty tailor-made for him. Jonas Villarino, um, he has good takedown defense. I'm seeing some money come in on him now, and I'm kind of surprised. I'm going to wait. Currently got Machado at minus 110. I'd like to see some plus money come in on him. Not sure I'm going to get that. But I like Kyle Machado to get the decision. As Moist Audio says, Jonas does the staring game, and Machado doesn't stare. He moves forward and throws, very similar to Delano would. Very similar to the trouble Cannon was giving him before that knockout as well. So for me, I do like Kyle Machado in this spot. I'm just not a big Jonas believer. So gonna leave it at that. Kyle Machado, 145, good fight. Next fight at 155, made at very short notice. So the odds have come in very late for Milson Castro and Anderson Ferreira. Roosevelt Roberts originally supposed to take this fight against Milson. Would have been an interesting one to see Milson in, but two very, very good Muay Thai style fighters here who just, really are aggressive, throw down, stand tall, and get into the middle of the octagon. Interestingly, Milson only 5'7", going against the 6 foot tall Anderson Busica, which is an easier way to find him for sure. If you look him up by his nickname after Anderson and Anderson Ferreira, you're not going to have much luck. But Anderson Busica, 32 years old, 6 foot tall, South Paulo, inside Muay Thai, and he's definitely a Muay Thai style fighter. 16-4 coming into this, 2 straight wins. Retired his last opponent, albeit a 14-15 opponent, Marcel Macias. That was back in May. He had a fight with Fabio Martin set for August of last year that was fell through. So for the most part, he has been looking for a fight, I would assume. He's been knocked out by Mel Costa inside of a round. Kind of got surprised on a hook that really kind of threw his equilibrium off, and then just didn't recover. But it is what it is. Was choked out by Marcio Andrade, by Darce choke as well, and Jackson Oliveira also knocked him out. So he is a guy who is a kill or be killed with his Muay Thai for the most part. Really, really sharp Muay Thai. Good fight to go back and watch was the Culverson Sampiro fight. But again, facing a 5-4 opponent in that spot. But the Hanato and Marine fight, another fight that really showed that he's developing his skills more. Was able to fight off, getting off of the bottom there, used his takedown defense, and then timed the knee really, really well. And really nice combo with the uppercut there. So sharp Muay Thai, good knockouts. Interesting guy to come in short notice here. Milson Castro, 14-3, 29 years old. He's going to throw down, man. 13 straight wins coming into this fight, but he did lose a kickboxing fight back in December of 2021. He's been off of MMA since his fight with Timur Nagbin, an 18-5 fighter. Very good fight there, but that was back in August of 2021. So he's been off of competitive combat sports for a little over a year now, recovering from some injuries. He did get a little bit sparked at times against Timur, but Timur, a very good boxer in that one. Good level of competition, but not great that he's faced. A few guys like Pavel Gordeev and Antonio Montero going to decision, but really does get in there, use his volume, stands very, very tall, and I think in this fight here, he's kind of expected to take that next step up. I actually feel that Anderson Busica can really come in here and give Milson all he can handle in this one. So if Milson doesn't mix it up and take this fight, I think, to the ground and just keep this strictly a Muay Thai fight, he might win it. He might really show, but I think in this fight, he needs to use his full MMA game because Anderson can crack, man. He gets into a good Muay Thai rhythm, keeps really good distance, unorthodox strikes, unorthodox hand movements, and kind of a typical Thai style fighter uses that first round. If you allow him to get into that group by the second and third round, you're maybe getting finished or behind in a decision. So I am actually going to take a shot on the short notice Muay Thai practitioner in Anderson Busica here. I really like the price I'm getting on him at plus 320. I'm going to sprinkle that money line. I also think this fight is a tough one to call with the over-under. I would say that it goes under 2.5, I guess, but at the same point, both guys winning decision would not surprise me. So it's a tough fight all the way around. But Milson Castro, I like him, but minus 425 on a guy who's been off, for over a year now. I get it. Anderson is coming in on short notice, but Anderson has fought in 2022 twice, winning those fights, and I do like what I've seen out of him. So should be an interesting one. The height might be an issue for Castro as well at 6'1" versus 5'7". So, but he was preparing for Roosevelt Roberts, so he was probably preparing for that. But on to the strawweight title fight here: Julia Polastri taking on Brenda Goateek. Brazil versus Argentina, so that should be interesting for Brenda to overcome. I think Julia is going to come in with a ton of crowd support here. Maybe her and Delano both will maybe have the most of the night. But interesting to see how Brenda responds to the Brazilians rooting against her, because in her career she's been with Invictus, IDC, which let me just check, but I don't believe. Yeah, IDC is in Argentina, as is Invictus. So she's fought her entire career in Argentina. And the level of opponents has been 0-0, or 2-2, 1-0, 0-2, 0-0, 0-7. And these girls look their records. Look at the Marana Joffrey fight. Look at the Orion Fernandez fight. Those women look like they shouldn't be in MMA at all. So she's getting in there and kind of just throwing really powerful strikes. Looks to be a long, lengthy striker. Gets into like full mount and just starts to rain down ground and pound, though they decide to end it. The Laura Ballin fight was, she was throwing on the feet kind of recklessly. Did catch her with a pretty nice straight right, and the finisher was some of the softest ground and pound you're going to see, but that's more the ref's fault than her fault. Julia Polastri had the good fight with Jasmine Jurdovicius on the Contender Series. Came up short there, but that was at flyweight. Has fought at atomweight before, and I do think strawweight is a good spot for her. Jasmine got 4 takedowns, but the Kalindra Ferreira fight looked very, very good there. Good level of opponent there. Just showed her overall game, and really does sit on her strikes, and showed that in her last fight. Got the knockout there. So I do like the Muay Thai striking of Julia, as well as a decent game on the ground, but I definitely think it's the Muay Thai that's going to get her there. But with Brenda, she's long. She's also, pretty tricky herself. Money has been coming in on her. For me, this is not a fight I'm looking to bet. I'll take Julia in this one. I think that she's just going to face a better level of competition, has the better overall skill. Brenda's pretty untested, and I think the Brazilian crowd could play a factor if this gets close and gets to the judges as well. So I am going to lean on that here with Julia. I'm going to take the decision, but it's 5 rounds as well. And it would not surprise me if one of these girls falters before. So Julia by KO, Moise is saying, that wouldn't surprise me. 3rd, 4th round KO would be my lean there. So the over 2.5 maybe. But yeah, I like Julia in this spot. I do see some money coming in on Brenda. Not really surprised by that. People probably went and just watch one fight. Julia opened at minus 300, then came to minus 170 very quickly. Correct the line, minus 170, now at minus 165, plus 135 on the undefeated Brenda Goateek, which I'm more fading just based on the level of competition and everything. If you bet on sites, do you bet on any sites that take non-gambling states, which are trustworthy? I'm making money on DraftKings Fantasy, but it gets boring, not much of excitement. Yeah, I have no idea, Justin. My sites are all legals that I use, so not sure on that. But I like Julia in this spot. I like the price I'm getting on her as well. Probably going to get a bet in on her. Julia by KO would be great, though, but I'm going to lean decision. Next fight is the main event of the evening. Very, very good fight in the featherweight division. Jose Delano, one of my favorites here, especially when he makes weight, taking on Gabriel Santos. I think that most of us are on the same page here, but 26-year-old Mosquito, Gabriel Santos, very, very creative striker. He's wild, throws lots of spinning techniques, pretty pure Muay Thai guy, Evolucion Thai. Last fought in November, 9 straight wins, beat Marcio Barboza in a fight where he got illegally struck like 3 or 4 times in the first round and withstood it, and and then came out for the second round, caught him with a real kick, clean head kick, and finished him with the ground and pound. It was a great first round, great fight, but also a wild one with Marcio Barboza. Prior to that, had gone to a decision in his prior few fights, but had a few, had 3 straight rear naked chokes on his record along the way, or 3 or 4 rear naked chokes along the way as well, which does surprise me because he is much more of a pure Muay Thai style striker. For me, I see the grappling as well, but with Jose Delano, I think he's going to be pretty in over his head. And Gabriel got hit. Gabriel got hit while being grounded in round 1 last time, twice in that fight. He got an up kick and a knee, real clean knee too. Jose Delano, 12-2. Pressure, mixes it up, goes to the ground when he needs to. Brazilian top team representative, 3-0. Beating Jair Jorginho with a clean knee last time. Before that, Michael Stack and Jonas Villarino just kind of pressured them, used the Muay Thai, looked really, really good, and he's just steady as it goes. He is good as gold on this card, in my opinion. He had not faced the biggest level of competition prior to the LFA, but in the LFA has faced really, really solid competition, made them look really bad. I think he makes Gabriel Santos look bad. I think that he gets this done in under 2.5 rounds, so take the under 2.5. I like him getting the finish, and I like him getting the finish by KO, honestly. I think he uses the Muay Thai and finishes it. Wouldn't be surprised, maybe an elbow or a knee, because he does throw those really, really well. I think he's going to have a size advantage as well and just an overall skill advantage. So give me Jose Delano, my favorite on the card here. And last I checked, Jose Delano, you can get at -335, open at -115. If you got him at -115, congratulations. But yeah, I do like Jose Delano quite a bit in this fight. Really quickly going over the card, I do like Marcus Tulio Silva, but I think Oliveira, could surprise some people. Marciano Ferreira, live dog by a guy Matthias Bronze, to just outskill him there. I like Kyle Machado, pressure and volume. And I do like Anderson Busica. He's my big dog on the card, short notice, high level Muay Thai guy. Also good experience as well. I think he could really surprise Milson here. I like Julia Polastri in the Strawweight Championship, and I like Jose Delano in the main event. So that's going to do it for the card. Thank you, Labyrinth, for checking it out. I appreciate it. We've been cashing on LFA since that first event was rocky, but otherwise, last event was beautiful. I'm expecting a good result this weekend. Saturday at 8 p.m. Already on the channel. The PFL Challenger Series is on the channel. So go check out the breakdowns. Thank you for the likes, subscribes, comments. Appreciate you all. Until next week, peace out, everybody.